What's up, guys? It's been a long time since I've done one of these. Whoop, turn the AC down. Done one of these ride-along videos. I did a couple of them in the past, kind of just doing a little rampage as I drive along. And I thought today would actually be a nice day to do it. I see the sun coming out a little bit. You know, it's been dark and dreary here for the past few weeks, and it got me thinking that this might be the vibe today. So a lot of the time when I go into rampages, affirmation rampages, as I've heard other people call them, that's what I call them as well. I think it's just a fitting term for it, because it's really just going in and instilling in your mind what it is that you want to believe, what it is that you're telling yourself, that new story that you're telling yourself, about your life, about who you are in relation to the world around you. And like I said, enforcing that new self-concept. So the way that I think about it is I will take a phrase, and I've spoken about these before, these are mind power phrases, but you know, one of the first phrase out of Mind Power, and I've got these from John Kehoe, is our thoughts are real forces. And I will contemplate that. I will tell myself, I will have a conversation with myself regarding that idea. So if my thoughts are real forces, that means that me doing this right here, I'm imprinting on my reality. Me having this conversation, not only with myself, but with you guys, is having an impact on reality. It's a real force. It's like this. It's the same as like a physical force. And the more that I think in the ways that I choose to think, the more that I'm developing that control to define who it is that I'm becoming, that control that will ultimately, that will define what it is that I'm creating in my reality, and that ability to influence myself, my reality, the people around me, everything in my environment. So if I'm just sitting around and waiting for life to happen, or just sitting around being at the cause of life all the time, I'm gonna just take it in. I'm just gonna receive all the BS from everybody around me, all the limiting beliefs, all the counterproductive thoughts, all the thoughts that, oh, well, I'm not good enough. Look at where I'm at. You know, that's for those people over there. That's for the rich people. That's for the cool people. That's for X group. And if I define myself, if I buy into all the limiting beliefs around me, I'm gonna say, oh yeah, well, that's pie in the sky. That's a pipe dream. Never gonna happen for me. I can't make money online. I can't have a successful YouTube channel. I can't, drive nice cars, drive the cars of my dream. I can't, do anything. I'm powerless. I'm a victim. Because ultimately, if you look around, that's what like 99% of people, regardless of what they're saying, regardless of what comes out of their mouth, because a lot of the times people have this, you could call it an inferiority. See, inferiority and superiority complexes are both the result of the same type of thinking, which is competitive thinking. That, okay, well, this person has this, so now I need to outdo them, and I need to get this. I need to show them who's boss. I need to prove my superiority over this person, but really it's stemming from that inferiority initially, and then it manifests as a superiority complex. But if you have a more collaborative approach, if you have a more open approach that's not necessarily treating everything like a vertical relationship, like they talk about in The Courage to Be Disliked, then you are able to just do what it is that you want to do and have the courage to be disliked, and not think about, not constantly be judging every single thing that you do in the context of, oh, well, what are people going to think? What are people going to think if I'm out here working on my YouTube channel? What are people going to think if I'm not looking to get a traditional job? What are people going to think if I'm not going to college, or if I decide that I want to take a non-traditional life path? What are people going to think? What are my family members going to think about me if I don't go and get this secure, safe job? What are they going to think, And a lot of that, like I said, it stems from being too preoccupied with other people, what they think about you. And like I said, it includes parents, it includes family members. But having this ability to, and I guess I got off on a tangent here because I intended to do an affirmation rampage, and now here we are talking about relationships. But it's an important conversation because it's all ties back to itself, right? If I'm at the cause, if I'm always constantly reacting to what everybody thinks about me, then I'm going to be treating everything like that. I'm going to be like, okay, well, I better do this. I better fall in line. I better go the safe path. Go the path everybody else is going. If everybody else is jumping, walking off a bridge, I better follow along. I don't want to be out of the pack. I don't want to be ostracized from the tribe. I don't want to be judged and looked down upon as somebody who is the black sheep of the family, whatever, right? We have all these kinds of phrases that we know that we can identify because we can relate to what they mean. But if you're willing to fly your own flag and do what it is that you deep down, and that's part of that too, is like cutting off all of that, like spending time by yourself, spending time and reflecting and in the inner world that Neville Goddard talks about, and crafting that person that you are on the inside, having these conversations with yourself. That's why this is important. These affirmation rampages are important. Whether you want to do an affirmation rampage in the camera or in the mirror, as I discuss, or you want to simply sit in silence and dwell and reflect upon who it is that you want to be, because that's the power that you have. That is the one power that we've been given as sovereign beings on this planet and individuals, is that ability, our mind. That's what makes us more advanced than all the other life forms on the planet. I don't know how advanced we are in relation to everything in the universe. Maybe there's life forms that are more advanced than us. I don't know. But on this planet, we are the dominant species because of our minds. And that is the power that we have, is the power to develop our minds and choose what it is that we want to think, what it is that we want to think about ourselves and about the world around us. So, if I'm going back to this, my thoughts are real forces. I have the power to insert any thought of my choosing into my mind. Well, what is it that I want then? So, I hear people all the time, they say, well, I don't know what I want. Well, what do you not want? What is it that you don't want? Personally, for me, I don't want to be stuck working in a 9-to-5 job. I know I don't want that. I also know that I don't want to continually trade, even if I'm not in a 9-to-5 job working for somebody else, even if I am doing some sort of entrepreneurial venture, I don't want to be directly trading my time for money. So, okay, I know these things now. I've figured out these basic things. I don't want to work in a job, and I don't want to trade my time for money. Okay, so if I don't want to work in a job, that means that I'm going to be pursuing some sort of my business of my own, some sort of business venture, entrepreneurship. Okay, so I know that, got that out of the way, right? And now I don't want to trade my time for money. Okay, well, maybe what I need to do then is I need to build look at my approach to building my business as something that can be scaled infinitely. Because if I am, let's say my business is a contractor and I'm setting up contracting for people to build their houses, I'm going to then have to be on the job. I'm gonna have to be on the job from morning until evening, and I will be trading my time for money, right? Okay, so I understand what that means, and I understand that's not what I don't want. So what is it that I can do that is scalable? Okay, well, what about the internet? The internet, now I can create things of value for people, things that people find valuable. It could be anything. I could be pursuing my interests. I could be, let's say that I have an interest in fitness, health and fitness, right? So if I want to use my interest for health and fitness, but I don't want to be a personal trainer in the traditional sense, right? Because personal trainers and people that are in the health coaching business traditionally are, again, trading their time for money, because they are setting up, whether it's a coaching call, whether it is physically going to the gym to meet their client and train them, that's trading their time for money. So how can I set that up in a system where I'm not trading my time for money? Well, maybe if I create a workout guide that tells people how I achieve my journey from going from 30% body fat all the way down to 12%. Maybe I can then talk about my stuff online, talk about my journey, my fitness journey, talk about how I've been able to accomplish that. And then I can sell that as a product, a digital product, an ebook, right? And let's say I can also sell alongside that, because I'm health and fitness, I can sell my cookbook that I've been working on, my diet recommendations, all the things that I include in my diet that have helped me along the journey to gaining, let's say, a six-pack, or gaining a healthier and gaining more energy, gaining better health. Maybe I've done some blood test results that show that my improved health markers are there because of these dietary changes that I've made, my supplements that I use, everything that I do, all my lifestyle choices that are contributing to this in a helpful manner. So now I've got these products online. They could just be digital products. I've made them, and every single person that hears about my story, hears about my journey with health and fitness, is now able to, rather than pay me for my time, rather than pay me to coach them one-on-one and on phone calls or what have you, or in person, I'm able to direct them to my product, which is already a proven system, and I have more and more people that are using it, and now they can use it to their benefit to get the results, the same results that I've gotten for myself. They're able to lean out, get their body fat percentage down, feel better, feel healthier, feel more energy throughout the day, learn how to cook these healthy recipes, learn everything that I've learned about health, fitness, longevity, how to improve your health markers, what I've done to improve mine, and now I have a business. And this idea is not new. I'm sure that you've heard other people talking about these things and all of this, but now through going through this process of what is it that I don't want, what is it that I do want, I have an idea of something that I can do that is more in alignment with what it is that I want to do and what it is that I want to create in my life. And that's more time freedom, but it's also the ability for me to render a service to people that is valuable to people, that also feels good to me because it's talking about something that I'm interested in. It's me following my curiosity and following my excitement, and then I'm able to use my natural inclinations, my natural interests as a form to generate me an income, which obviously then equals more time freedom for myself so that I can choose to spend my time on what I enjoy spending it on. And yeah, you know what? This is easier said than done. I'm not saying that this is an easy thing to do, because you have to, on the path there, you have to either build an audience or you got to run some ads or whatever to get those people to purchase your books, in this case, is what we're talking about. But it's a path worth pursuing, don't you think? Don't you think it's worthwhile to invest your time learning? Because if you're going to do any sort of business, if you're going to do any sort of job, you're going to be spending time. Those might not be easy. The path I mentioned earlier of starting a contracting business is also not going to be easy. You're still going to have to get clients yourself. You're still going to have to go out, find clients, build all the skills, build a team of people where you're going out and finding these jobs. And it's going to be hard work, hard labor. You're going to have to go to the store. You're going to have to get a truck, right? So no matter what we do, what we choose to invest and spend our time on, it is going to be a significant time, energy investment, right? But if we have these ideas going into it off the jump, then we will be able to make the decisions that are in alignment with what it is that we want. So rather than building all those skills of, let's say, a carpenter and somebody who is contracting, installing drywall and what have you, now you are learning skills of what does it take to build a audience? What does it take to build a following? What does it take to maybe do graphic design, to design my ebook, to become a better writer? How can I build these skills for myself, right? And yeah, there's so many people doing it now online. Basically, if you're a few steps ahead of somebody else on that journey, using health and fitness as an example, you don't need to be, what's his name, Brian Johnson, right? You probably have seen that guy around where he's like spending millions of dollars to become 18 again, right? So that guy is an extreme example of this, right? If you're looking in the health and fitness industry, you might say that he is on one extreme, right? But you don't need to be that guy that's spending millions of dollars on longevity and health and to help somebody that is much earlier on the journey. Maybe you're somebody like myself who has invested tons of hours and time into, I go see a functional medicine doctor who checks my blood markers. I have an appointment with her this weekend, actually, checks my hormones. You know, I've done so much research, and I've been doing intermittent fasting for over 10 years now, where that's kind of caught on within the past few years. And finally, my stepmom has adopted it because her personal trainer that she's paid for has told her to do this, right? Well, I've been doing it for over 10 years, right? But my stepmom never listened to me. She always wanted to lose weight, but she never took my advice or did as I did, even though she saw me getting results. I've gotten results for myself. I've got, like, my girlfriend gets results from also, you know, following a similar diet that I do. And, yeah, but that's an example right there. You know, you think you might have imposter syndrome with whatever it might be, with teaching somebody, like this is the example we're going with today, right? About health and fitness. I could sit around and say, hey, you know, I don't know as much as Brian Johnson. I don't know as much as these people. I'm not a certified nutritionist. I'm not a certified personal trainer. But what does that matter if I'm able to get the results? And then oftentimes I'm getting better results, and I am eating in a healthier manner than most trained dietitians or nutritionists. I see these dietitians and nutritionists talking about what I eat at McDonald's and stuff like that. I don't ever eat at McDonald's, right? I have adopted this lifestyle, and through trial and error, I've gotten myself results with it. So just as a reminder here, it doesn't have to be that you don't have to be the world's greatest expert on something, whether it's knitting, whether it is like even a guide. You could do like a guide to how to make pasta, how to make your own homemade pasta, how to make your own homemade bread. People are getting into this stuff right now. You could specialize and do something as niche as air fryer recipes if you're really into making stuff with the air fryer. Whatever it is, whatever interests you have, there are other people that you will find online that are interested in it. And there's an interesting phenomena where a lot of the time, like I said, the people that are closest to us don't value us as much as strangers will. And it's an unfortunate thing, but for whatever reason, you see it time and again where, like I said, I've been doing this for a long time. My stepmom, though, she paid thousands of dollars to go to this fitness coach because she wants to go to somebody who has who she doesn't know, who she can be like, okay, this is somebody who seems like an authority in this space. I'm going to go to her for this information. And she's, you know, worked with other people in my neighborhood or my neighbors. I think she found her on Nextdoor. And so now I feel confident handing her my money. And that's the same type of way that it works online, is that you begin to post, you begin to talk about what you're interested in, and you are then now perceived as somebody who knows what they're talking about because you have people that are watching your videos, that are engaging with your videos. And by sharing that information, you have shown people that you have done the research, you have done the legwork that they might not have the time to do, they might not feel like doing it for whatever reason, and now they're willing to pay you for that information. And then, like I said, in this case, paying my stepmom, paying this lady that she found on Nextdoor on learning some workout routines, learning some dietary advice. Anyways, I guess a long bit of a tangent that I've gone on here, but a lot of the time I hear people talk about they don't know what it is that they want. I saw it on a recent Reddit post in a comment, and I just think, like, I have an interest in creating a community online. I mentioned this in a previous video where not only like we can go into all the self-concept stuff, all the manifestation stuff, all the mindset work that will allow you to learn the best techniques to rewrite that story, rewrite that version of yourself, rewrite that narrative, and step into that new version of yourself. But I also, like, long-term, I would love to get like a creative community going, because I think that is the direction that society is going in, is that online education is becoming more and more prominent. It's kind of democratized the education space. And if we as people are able to share our knowledge in these certain avenues and fields that people want to learn about, for example, right now with my dad, we have a real estate business out here, and I'm going to do actually a walkthrough of an apartment building that we're building. But me and my dad, we have experience in real estate, right? That's another thing that I happen to know about because my grandma started this real estate business here, and my dad really has slowly grown it, and I'm involved with it as well. We just had a meeting with the builder yesterday going over all of the kind of finishes that we want to use, how we're going to go about the space, the closets, designing the closets with the shelving, what kind of hardware we're going to use, adjustments from the last time that we had sinks, they weren't big enough. And a lot of this type of stuff, we're going over the details of it, but I mean the business of it, the business side of things, how to make sure that a deal is going to work. How do you know that by investing in this property, you're going to actually be getting enough cash flow to make it worth your time, to make it worth your while? Factoring in, repairs, factoring in the manpower, all of these different things, paying a property manager. Everybody has some things that they know, some things that you probably know things that other people don't know. And you probably take it for granted that you know these things because they're so familiar to you, but there's other people out there that would more than likely be interested in your knowledge and be willing to probably pay you for it. And the reason I'm talking about this, like I said, I've always been creative. I've always wanted to, I make music, but I also have an interest in making videos. I studied video production in college. I've also been so interested in philosophy and psychology and, spiritual teachings, and done so much research over the past more than a decade about health, longevity, all these different interests that I have, right? They all kind of lead into that. Like I have a very, I guess if you were to sum it up, is to living to the ultimate human potential. Like, how do we become the healthiest, best versions of ourselves? And so that's why I talk about that, the most productive, the most creative. How can we do that? And then also make an impact, by doing that, by creating that version of ourselves, how can we share then all of our things that we've learned with others and help impact everybody else positively? And so the time that we're in right now with social media and social media gets a bad rep, but this creator space is a really powerful time because people are taking it into their own hands more and more. They're not relying as much on traditional education. The educational space online is a thriving and booming business. And I think if we were to develop a community where we could kind of all get together as creatives or creative entrepreneurs or people who are building our dream lives and looking to become those best versions of ourselves, we could get it could be really fun. It could be a really, really cool thing. And have it to where everyone's then able to meet each other. You're able to meet like-minded people that are on the same journey. Because like I said, a lot of the times, people that are in your hometown or whatever, you're not very likely to come across those people that have the same interest as you. And so having that online community could be really awesome because it could foster into real relationships, real friendships, real meetups and things like that. But anyways, guys, kind of like a long-term goal that I kind of just that this video ended up being. Like I said, I intended it initially to be a affirmation rampage, but I guess what it turned into is me sharing with you guys some things that have been on my mind, because I think that going forward into this new time and this new decade almost of the 2020s, 2024 that we're in now, I think people are hungry for it. I think that people really want, with quarantine and all that, it divided people even further. And then as it is right now, especially in the USA, there's not very many what they call third spaces, which are places to coffee shops or whatever. In Europe, a lot of people will go and meet at these different places and they call them third spaces. But here it's kind of just you go to work, you go home, and there's no third space, right? And the idea of community, I have a friend and I was over at his place and he's trying to build this app that fosters community within your building or your apartment building or whatever. And while that's all well and good, like I said, the likelihood that you'll meet somebody that is a truly good match for you as a friend or as somebody to date or whatever just in your apartment building, yeah, you might run into them. I mean, especially depending on where you are. If you're in a bigger city, with a bigger apartment building and whatever, like, I'm not saying it's not possible. I've certainly met people that, and made friendships through people that I've met in my, places that I've lived in apartment buildings. But I think that the chances that you meet somebody when you share similar interests online, you both, let's say, are subscribed to a creative YouTube channel that's all about how to harness your creativity, or how about to work on your mindset, and how about to use some of like Neville Goddard's techniques, and people that are sharing their success stories and stuff. Like, what are the chances that you're going to meet somebody that's much more in alignment with your interests? I think that they're much, much, much higher. So an interest of mine, like I said, be creating something like that, and that's just kind of like a long-term vision, like I said. But let me know what your guys' thoughts are on it down below in the comments. I would be interested in what your take is on all of this. And like I said, much love. It's something that I'll be working towards, is with that being in the background, right? I'm still gonna be making these videos. I'm still gonna, like, I have an interest, like I said, I'm gonna try to start developing modules in a course, if you guys are interested in that, and long-term doing something that is for creators, because I think that on one hand, creators, we can identify as like, oh yeah, we're creating our reality. But I think the culmination of that, the fullest actualized version of that, is being somebody, if you're really creating your reality and creating the life that you want, then you're gonna be doing some sort of entrepreneurial thing, more than likely. Now, you could be in a position where you're getting paid very well and you just happen to enjoy and love the job that you work, and that's fine too. But I think anybody that is motivated by kind of creating their own reality and creating the life that they want is also going to be wanting, like, valuing that time freedom, that kind of location freedom almost, and kind of on a similar journey where they want to scale a business that allows them to generate that ability, right? That time and location freedom. And not necessarily location. You might be passionate about baking, right? And you open up a bakery and it's just amazing in your hometown or wherever it is that you live. And so it's not all dependent on that. But I think people that have that entrepreneurial spirit, a lot of the times, like, we gravitate towards one another because we're not happy with just checking in and clocking in and going through the motions at a regular job. Anyways, guys, much love as always. I know this video dragged on a bit, but I just wanted to get this off my chest. I appreciate you guys, and much love. And hit me with a like if you've not done so, if you thought this was helpful or found any value from this. And I will see you guys in the next video. I'm excited. I just think that a lot of the stuff that is going on in the world right now, people really want to be able to connect with like-minded people. And I think we're living in an amazing time that the internet allows us to do so. Anyways, guys, I will see you in the next video.